Good evening. My name is Sarkis Oganessian, the Acting Deputy Public Works Director and City Engineer for the Public Works Department, Engineering Division. And I would like to welcome you to the Glendale Community Meeting for the Local Roadway Safety Plan on March 14th, 2022, being called to order at 6:04 p.m. To help slow the transmission of COVID-19 and protect the health and safety of the community, this community meeting will be closed to the public for in-person attendance. The public is encouraged to watch and participate from the safety of their homes to practice social distancing. This meeting is being streamed live on youtube.com/MyGlendale. You may also find a copy of today's presentation on our project webpage located at www.glendalepwprojects.com, where you can browse to the upcoming projects link, then click on the Local Roadway Safety Plan project. Public comments and questions will be welcome after we present a brief project overview. To provide your comments and ask questions regarding this project, please call 818-937-8100. Public comments and questions related to this project will be recorded and responded separately through the project webpage after this virtual community meeting. Now, I would like to turn the meeting over to Mr. Pastor Casanova, Principal Traffic Engineer with our department, who has a few presentation slides and details for the Local Roadway Safety Plan, and he will share them with you tonight. Mr. Casanova?
Thank you very much, Mr. Oganessian, and good evening to the Glendale community. Today we'll be presenting to you the City of Glendale Local Roadway Safety Plan. In today's outline, we'll be covering what is a local road safety plan. We'll talk about why we need the local roadway safety plan, some of the benefits and the process, as well as community outreach efforts, and your role as a community member. As part of that, we'll also discuss the project website and the interactive map, as well as we'll have someone provide some active hands-on review of how to use the interactive map. And lastly, there'll be an opportunity for call-in comments. So what is a local roadway safety plan? It's a local level data-driven traffic safety plan that targets at reducing traffic accidents, fatalities, and serious injuries on local public roads. It provides local agencies a framework to systematically identify, analyze, and prioritize roadway safety improvements on these local roadways. Why we need a local roadway safety plan is that federal regulation requires all states to have a strategic highway safety plan. And this SHSP is a statewide traffic plan that targets at reducing traffic accident fatalities and serious injuries on all public roads. At these levels, it includes federal, state, local, and private sector safety stakeholders, and it incorporates the 4 E's of traffic safety, which are engineering, enforcement, education, and emergency services. Now, why we need the local roadway safety plan at a local level is that it has similar goals as the SHSP. However, it targets at a local traffic safety need level and includes local stakeholders such as police, fire departments, schools, and local community groups. It also incorporates the 4 E's of traffic safety. And more importantly, or one of the important elements, is that the local road safety plan is a requirement for local agencies to be able to submit for Caltrans Highway Safety Improvement Program grant funding. The benefits of an LRSP include that it facilitates partnerships and collaboration with local stakeholders and results in a prioritized list of improvements and actions. It takes a proactive approach to addressing safety needs and demonstrates a local agency's responsiveness to safety challenges. And again, it qualifies, in this case, City of Glendale, for Highway Safety Improvement Program grant funding applications, as well as can be deemed as the first steps forward towards a Vision Zero plan. On the screen, we'll see a roadmap, which is a summary exhibit of what the LRSP process looks like. And on the upper right portion of the exhibit, you'll see a circle, an orange circle with the start here. And as we start along the road of a LRSP plan, the first element we come across is on the guide sign that says identify stakeholders. So that's one of the first things that we've done in this plan, is to identify those stakeholders that will input into the plan, such as law enforcement, public health officials, emergency medical services, as well as elected officials. The greater Glendale community is also included in these stakeholders, and part of the reason we're here tonight. As we keep going on the LRSP road, the next sign or stage that we see is using the safety data. In this stage, the safety data is gathered and analyzed to identify potential challenge areas that show specific collision trends in the city. And in this stage, we review data such as crash or collision history data, maintenance logs, safety audits, and traffic violations are examples. And the next stage after that, understanding now what the challenge areas are, the next stage is to choose proven solutions that address those issues that we found in reviewing the safety data. And these these proven solutions may include installation of signage, which is indicated here as chevron signage. It could include roundabouts or intersection modifications, targeted enforcement or crosswalk striping, traffic signal modifications, or even traffic lane repurposing projects. And the last stage, of course, of the overall LRSP is to implement the solutions. And these solutions, again, could contain the 4 E's of traffic safety, which could be projects that include educational components, enforcement components. It could be capital projects, as well as maintenance work. And in here, we'll take a closer look at the safety data and what are we actually analyzing. Well, the LRSP follows along the guidelines of Caltrans and investigates or researches a 5-year collision history data. And the collision analysis is used to identify collision trends, collision types, including severity, violation, different categories, and lighting conditions. The LRSP also looks at the geographic representation. In other words, where are these collisions taking place, and are they happening in a particular area of the city, in a particular collision type? Again, reviewing the safety data takes a look at those components. And with that information, it's used to identify streets or intersections that may benefit from safety enhancements. It also identifies emphasis areas, and with that information, that's used to develop a countermeasure toolbox per se, and develop safety projects to address the collision risk patterns and locations. So on the screen is an example of how this data is consolidated and reviewed. On the upper portion of the screen, we'll call those reviews or charts that help us see from a macroscopic level or a high level how significant or how the fatal and severe injury collisions are representative in the city. And in this case, they're shown as red, and we see that they're a small percentage of the overall collisions in the city, which are a benefit. But on the lower level, or on the lower 2 exhibits on the bottom part, we now take a look at a microscopic view of those small portion of collisions. And we're able to identify within those fatal and severe injury collisions which type of collision types may be prominent. And we look at the head-on collisions, side swipe, rear end, broadside, and so forth. And we can see easily by taking a look at these charts, again, if any particular one may be overrepresented. And in the bottom right-hand side, that chart allows us to see the time of day that the collisions, or that these fatal and severe injury collisions are taking place. And we can easily see by the chart that the higher quantity or higher representation would be in the evening hours from 6 to 9 p.m. Community outreach is a key component of this local roadway safety plan. We really need feedback from the Glendale community. As such, there's been flyers that have been prepared and sent out via social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as posting on the Public Works webpage. Included in this is a project website, and the project web page is listed there as www.glendalesafestreets.com. And on there, you will find a wealth of project information, as well as a key component to the feedback that's an interactive map that allows the community in a feedback portal, per se, to be able to voice your concerns, as well as show us where your concerns are in the city. Your role as a community member, again, and similar to the previous slide, is tell us about those traffic safety related issues that you know about. Tell us also about those that you've heard from other members in the community. And this information will help us set the goals and objectives of the LRSP. Feel free to share your perspective as well on the programs and safety measures that are under the 4 E categories of education, enforcement, engineering, and emergency medical services. Let us know how you perceive these 4 E plans. And as well, report your concerns in the map-based survey that I mentioned, that's on the www.glendalesafestreets.com, and share this information with your neighbors, as well as using it to stay informed about the project. Here's a graphic or an exhibit of the project website. And again, it's at www.glendalesafestreets.com. And I'll continue to repeat that because I would love for the Glendale community to go onto that website and provide your feedback. On there, the project dashboard, it is live, so it has options that you can go through and to learn about the project and provide your feedback. It's easy to click here, and it takes you to a map where you can pin a location and draw a line in your area of concern or around it and tell us what your concerns are. And now I'm going to pass the presentation over to Mr. Saeed Rodsari, Traffic Engineer 2 in Department of Public Works, and he's going to give us a hands-on review of how the interactive web map works.
Thank you, Mr. Casanova and Mr. Oganessian, and good evening to Glendale community. My name is Saeed Rodsari. I'm a Traffic Engineering 2 for City of Glendale. I'm sharing local road safety plan, the website. GlendaleSafeStreet.com is easy to remember, GlendaleSafeStreets.com. As you see here in the interface, there's a home, project overview, interactive map, project updates, provide feedback, and subscribe and contact. If you click on the tab project overview, there goes the project overview that briefly explain the purpose of this project, the goal and objectives, and go to next tab, interactive map. Interactive map is a prominent tools of this website. I will get back to it in a minute. I explain the details, how to use the interactive map. And they go to project update. We're going to update this portion shortly. And after that, provide feedback. You can go and if you have any suggestion regarding this website, you can fill out your name, a subject, email, and feedback. And also we have in the bottom, you have a subscribe and contact. And in the bottom, you have a email. We can use safestreet@glendaleca.gov. Send us an email and regarding your safety concern and in Glendale. Let's go back to the interactive map. You can see the interactive map. Click here to tell us your safety concern, and they provide you with this concern regarding traffic safety within the city of Glendale. Let's click on it. The windows open, and it shows how this interactive map works, step by step. Go to the next step. And the aerial GIS of the city of Glendale is open. A satellite view, you can just zoom in, scroll, and if you have a, for example, if you are a pedestrian and you have a concern regarding crossing road and Glen Oaks and Highland, simply go to the pin location, drop a pin, and the windows popped up, and you can easy to type, for example, something like this, difficult to cross the street, and you can done and send us. We receive your comments, and if you have a concern regarding speeding in the corridor or a segment of the road, simply you can go choose your draw a line and pick up that location and your desired areas again, and simply go like speeding. And we received that information regarding the segment and your comments, and that's done. But you also can, if you have several, for example, I'm just going around the city to see that it's very, very easy to use. And you can also draw, if you have a multiple concern, you can draw a box around the segment you're concerned and double click. And for example, a traffic signal, a speeding, like a school crossing, any concern you have, you can just type it in the popped up, and you just receive your comments. You can delete it. After this portion, you go to the next third window. It's called, do you have more traffic safety related concern? If you said yes, going back, if you can add additional comments, or you can say no, move forward, and put your name and your email address and click done, and technically you're done with the comments. I'm passing to Mr. Casanova and to conclude the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ritsari, and that was an excellent review of the interactive LRSP map. I really can't encourage the Glendale community enough to please try to get onto that interactive map and communicate to us your traffic concerns. So in the last slide, we'll go over what the next steps are in the LRSP. Well, currently we're compiling all the stakeholder feedback, which really goes back to the point of we need your feedback and input. Once we close the polls on that, we'll be incorporating that stakeholder feedback along with the internal departmental stakeholders and the extended community stakeholders and the overall community stakeholders, and putting all that information together along with all the analysis of the safety data and identifying those safety challenge location and areas. We're going to use all that information to choose proven solutions to address those areas of concerns and develop a countermeasure toolbox that we can use to address these problems. And lastly, of course, we'll be implementing the solutions that with these countermeasure toolbox will include components of engineering, enforcement, education, and emergency services. So that concludes our presentation tonight. Thank you very much to the Glendale community. Please go to the www.glendalesafestreets.com and provide us your input. Mr. Oganessian?
Thank you, Mr. Casanova and Mr. Rutsari. We would also like to thank you, the viewers, for joining us tonight for the Glendale Community Meeting for the local roadway safety plan project. As a reminder, please visit our department and project webpage at www.glendalepwprojects.com for further details on this project. Now, we would like to welcome our viewers' comments and questions regarding this project. To do so, please call 818-937-8100. As a reminder, each caller will have 2 minutes to ask their questions or provide their comments. We will time the call and inform you once your time is up. We ask that you be mindful and respect the time limit. Ms. Guerra, we are ready to take the first caller, if any.
At this time, Mr. Oganessian, there are no phone calls.
As a reminder, please visit www.glendalesafestreets.com to tell us of your safety concerns. And you can also visit the project webpage at www.glendalepwprojects.com. To call in, please call 818-937-8100 to voice your comments or your concerns. As a reminder, to provide your comments and or ask questions regarding this project, please call 818-937-8100. Since we don't have any callers at this time, we'll wait for an additional minute, and if we don't receive any further calls, we will call to end the meeting. Again, to provide your comments and ask questions regarding this project, please call 818-937-8100. Public comments and questions related to this project will be recorded and responded to separately through the project webpage after this virtual community meeting. Again, as a reminder, please don't forget to visit www.glendalesafestreets.com to tell us of your safety concerns. This concludes the Glendale Community Meeting for the local roadway safety plan project at 6:28 p.m. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your evening.